The boy stops you. There are no skiffs that way, he says. Just as the boy said, there are several sand skiffs at the entrance. Let's take one. Hurry, he says, running toward the boats. You scramble after him. Before you can board the boat, you stumble. What are you doing? The boy demands. Though his tone is harsh, he helps you up. Just then, guards from the city catch up to you and attack. To battle. Destroy the other boats so they can't come after us, he instructs. You summon the Steel Primal, who easily crushes all the sand skiffs. They are squashed flat. This is the only vessel that can still move. Let's go. You and the boy board the boat, then make your way out of town. According to the boy, these boats can traverse quicksand, which is impossible on foot. Meaning, if you can get across some, your pursuers won't be able to follow. There's a large swath of it to the east. We'll lose them there, he says. You're quite surprised to see an open-air stall set up here. You poke your head into the stall just as the merchant within whips around to greet you. I've got a collection of rare monsters, the merchant says, glancing to and fro as he removes the cloth covering a nearby cage. He leans in close. "Speak not a word of this to anyone," he whispers in your ear and breaks down his stall. No more shopping for you, it seems. You plunge the sand skiff over the quicksand, then cautiously look around. It seems you've managed to shake your pursuers. The boy returns the steel primal card to you. "I'm sorry for using it," he says. You take the card back from him. "What do we do now?" you whisper. You've both gotten your revenge. Neither of you had any plans beyond that. He turns to you and asks, "Isn't there anything you want to do?" "How about you?" you question back. The boy gives a somewhat sad laugh. You place your hand to your chest and wonder what you want to do. You suddenly remember the dream you confessed to your plush animal. "I want to see the stars," you say. "It's been your dream since you were young." The boy nods. "I'll show you the most beautiful stars in the world," he says, then extends a hand to you. You take it. You both realize you haven't introduced yourselves yet and share a laugh. "Legol," he says. Where your journey to avenge your village ends, a new one with Legol begins. Several days after you escape Steelborough, Legol helps you row aimlessly through the desert. Either one of you is liable to pass out at any moment. The sand skiff you stole as you fled the city has proven handy for getting around, but there isn't a scrap of food nor a drop of of water. You probably should have had more of a plan, you think to yourself. You fear if you make so much as a peep. The sheer effort involved will. You propel the boat forward with all your might. A patch of quicksand swallows your sand skiff whole. Where are we? You look around, trying to figure out where the quicksand has spit you out. At the very least, your tight grip on the boat has prevented you from getting separated from Lagol. But in a desert this vast and empty, we better find some water, Lagol grumbles, shaking sand out of every possible crevice. You nod at him and begin searching your surroundings. Unfortunately, your legs are less cooperative. They may as well be made of lead. You're so thirsty, even the act of breathing feels painful. The sun's rays beat down upon you. It's so hot. You need water. Your head, you open the treasure chest to find a bottle glimmering in the sunlight. You snatch it up, but it's empty. Lagol's shoulders drop in unison with yours. You lift your head. There before you, impossibly, walks Ram, your plush animal. No. You shake your head. That isn't real. As consciousness threatens to forsake you, you catch sight of a young man. You've come at a very good time, he chirps. Ah, so you seek the compound formed from hydrogen and oxygen, he says excitedly, launching into the beginning of a very long speech. His words flow as quickly as the quicksand that brought you here. Lagol musters every last ounce of his strength to try and interrupt the torrent of babble. A monster's cry issues from behind the youth. You see, I was about to be attacked by foul beasts, the youth says, beaming. Yes, you've come at a very good time indeed. You certainly haven't the strength to escape. Looks like you're in for a fight. Calling upon the steel primal helped you fell the monsters. But what on earth was that? The youth says, rushing up behind you from his vantage point. He peppers you with questions and comments. That was the steel primal, wasn't it? The fact that you can control it means you're one of the fabled I had no idea you actually existed. Well, if today isn't my lucky day, if you don't mind, I have deduced that the card you're holding there is the key to controlling them, but beyond that, Whew. This guy sure can talk. He pays your pained expression no mind as he carries on. The young man's name is Polka, and he's on a long, winding journey in pursuit. As if you hadn't heard enough, he asks if you'd like to hear an explanation about the primals. You make another desperate plea for water. Polka, however, hasn't even done you the courtesy of waiting for an answer. There are 3 kinds, he tells you at breakneck. In addition to the steel primal, there exists a fire primal and a frost primal. And all are powerful enough to cause changes in their natural environment. Unfortunately, your fevered brain can parse no more of his blathering. Look, We helped you, so give us some water already, Ligol barks, clearly out of patience. Finally, Polka closes his mouth for the first, for he, too, has no water on his person. You stare at him, speechless. You know, I'm actually rather thirsty. Clearly, his was a thirst brought on by incessant blabbering. You both look at Polka's crumpled form, and then at one another. Mind and body pushed well beyond their limits. The two of you finally surrender to sweet, sweet unconsciousness. You awaken to find yourself lying down inside a tent. Startled, you leap to your feet. Well, you seem much better, a woman says sweetly as she enters. She says she found the three of you collapsed in the desert and nursed you back to health. You thank her and quickly ask where she's taken Ligol. She tells you Ligol woke up not long before. He and Polka are at a stall outside. You exit the tent to find several more lined up before you. It looks like you've been picked up by a caravan. You arrive at the stall to find Legol and Polka devouring food as if it were a competition. You heave a sigh of relief upon Legol notices you as he reaches for a bit of food. He stays his hand and instead beckons you over. "Get in on this," he says between bites. You waltz calmly up to the table, snatch up an entire barrel of some liquid or other, and proceed. Having eaten and drank your fill, you offer thanks for the meal. According to Legol and Polka, a stout man treated them to their meal at the stall earlier. A simple but sturdy tent stands before you. Its suitable shelter. Congratulations! You are gleefully informed that you're the 3,600. You are gleefully informed that you're the 3,672nd guest. You can't fathom what's so special about that, but you've been told you can stay for free. You don't dare ask any further questions. You find the man hurrying about busily and thank him for the meal. "Ah, you're all awake." He introduces himself as the circus's ringmaster and explains that they're on a tour of the desert. As someone fascinated by the circus, you'd always wanted to talk with a ringmaster. Before you speak so much as a syllable, the caravan is beset by monsters. Polka barges into battle unannounced. "I too shall fight," he proclaims. Legol asks if he can fight, to which Polka replies that it comes with the territory. You're in for a world of hurt if you underestimate science, because science makes medicine, and you shouldn't underestimate that, Polka rambles, drawing his weapon. You take up arms shoulder to shoulder with Polka and prepare to fight. Masterful victory! The ringmaster thanks you profusely for defeating the monsters. It seems the countless monster attacks are to blame for scattering his troop to the winds. He's at a loss for what to do. You notice, however, that the number of sighs he's peppered his story with feels very intentional. He looks your way rather bashfully. You suspect he wants your help. Of course we'll help you, Polka blurts, but the three of you expect fair compensation for the effort, he adds slyly. Polka turns to you and Legol, grinning from ear to ear. Let's get going, he chirps excitedly. Did you hear him correctly? And just like that, Legol objects, only to be drowned out by Polka's contemporaneous rebuttal. A treatise on the value of money and friendship in travel. And so it goes that you, Legol, and Polka end up combing the desert for lost circus troopers. You all look quite well, the woman says, her wide smile narrowing her eyes. You swear you see Legol briefly shiver in fear for some reason. Battle time. Something catches the light in the sand. That might be the bangle capable of freeing the Sand Prowler Tsar, Polka blurts out. To hear Polka tell it, the Sand Prowler Tsar was a monster that and he's careful to note that some monsters still revere this Tsar. Well, legend has it that the Sand Prowler Tsar, if Polka's telling the truth, then you're holding something. You figure it can't hurt to keep something so potentially valuable and slip it into your pack. You sense another long polka lecture coming and start walking. You hear the sound of feet hurriedly whooshing through the sand as those were just his feet, right? Yeah, had to be. You happen upon a tent pitched in front of some ruins. Might there be an... Why, yes. The young girl you see before you may well be one of the performers, but she's rather tearful at the moment. Are you with the circus? Yes. Beast tamer. Circus, she says through her tears, before begging for... Wading through the fragmented words, you gather that she goes on to lament that this is all her fault, as sobs rack her body anew. We have to help her. He declares that he cannot abide turning. You're inclined to agree with him. So long as there are lives to be saved, you'll fight to save them. Are you okay? Legol asks carefully, sensing that you're in pain. You nod and begin walking toward the ruins. To battle. Battle time. To battle. Beautiful. I expected nothing less. To battle. Wait a minute. Pulke begins tapping on the wall in several places. There's nothing behind this wall, he says, pointing at one section of it. Not one to wait for permission. Legol strikes the section of wall with all his... And what do you know? Pulka was right. That's a scientist for you, Pulka boasts, puffing out his chest. Science is awesome, you reply, jaw slack with wonder. To battle. To battle. To battle.